there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. This is going to be my top 5, bottom 5 with Colourpop. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. This is going to be a video that I'm doing as part of a series that I'm doing this year. Once a month, I come on here and chat to you about my top 5, bottom 5 from a certain brand. So this month we're doing Colourpop, but I have already done so many other brands this year. I tend to do this like every year. I choose a couple of brands that I want to chat about, and I thought we could talk about Colourpop again. So let's just get to it. Before we get into the video, it may be good to know who I am and what I like doing on this channel. My name is Maaike, I live in the Netherlands, I have fair skin with a culture neutral undertone, and this greatly influences how I feel about makeup. I have been reviewing makeup for more than a decade. I love trying out eyeshadow palettes, essence and catrice, and getting the use out of my makeup. So if that's something you're interested in, then I hope you'd like to consider subscribing. So my top 5, bottom 5 for Colourpop, I realized that the only thing that's still in my collection are my top 5 products. And everything else I've decluttered. So when I talk about my bottom 5, I will just be putting some of the pictures up on the screen here so that you can have a look at what it is that I was not loving from Colourpop, and that's most of what I've tried from the brand. So I'm just going to talk about some categories in general of things I've tried that I just didn't end up loving, and that's what we're going to kick the video off with, because I always want to end on a high note. So the second half of the video is going to have my favorite Colourpop products in, if you wish. First things first, the thing I did not love from Colourpop is actually a lot of their lip products. I used to own quite a lot of lip products from Colourpop at some point. I had some glosses, I had their Lippiestix, I had a couple of things from the brand, and I enjoyed them, but nothing that that I feel is the problem for me with Colourpop. Say from having to get it shipped from the US. With Colourpop, I feel that I very often find that their products are good, they're nice, but that I have things from other brands that are either a similar price point for me or that are even more expensive that I just like better. I just have other things that I like better. And that's usually my problem with Colourpop. For instance, with the lip products I've tried. Yeah, I like I think I had one of their lip glosses that I really enjoyed, and then I tried finding other shades, and then none of those shades looked great on me, even though they had similar descriptions, so they should work. Yeah, especially with lip products, because I can only get Colourpop online and I cannot see it in real life beforehand. I find it so difficult because for some reason the images on their website do not showcase the products well enough. And for instance, they would call something a cool tone in their image description. They always have a color description, color so-and-so is a neutral or a cool tone. And then I try it and I'm like, this is not a cool tone. And I really have that issue a lot with their lip products. So Colourpop lip products, as much as I think they're good quality, for the price point, not worth it. I'll stick to my catrice stuff. Then any of the Supershock cheek products. So I've tried to love this so much because I've tried several of their Supershock highlighters. I had a couple of their blushes. I think I even had a bronzer at some point. I decluttered all of them because when I compare it to my other cream products that I have in my makeup collection, they are just not as good. They don't give me the same effect that I know I can get from other products that I already have. So for me, the Supershock Cheek, even though I love the Supershock formula, because I love it as an eyeshadow, well, you'll see in a second. But for some reason on the cheeks, I've never been able to make it work the way I'd like it to, and just love it. Love it. I just never ended up falling in love with these products at all. And I've tried many. I remember owning Flexitarian at some point. I had one of the the Hades one that they did with a Disney collab that was really pretty on. I had the little set from the Tinkerbell collection. Tried that. But there was just always something about all of these products where I was like, I never reach for these. I never want to reach for these. I have so many other cream and liquid products that I just like so much better that I don't need to keep these around. So that's why the Colourpop Supershock cheek products are no longer in my makeup collection. But then another thing I've tried quite a bit from Colourpop is their like base products. And there is one base product that I consider to be my holy grail. The reason why later this year I'm probably going to be buying some stuff from Colourpop is that base product. But the rest of what I've tried, I think I've tried their Pretty Fresh primer. I've tried 2 of their concealers, I think. And I know I've tried 2 or 3 of their like foundation-like products. So this is kind of grouping numbers 3, 4, and 5 in the bottom 5 together. Because all 3 of these categories I just didn't love. Not really for shade matches. That's one thing I have to give to Colourpop. Shade match-wise for like complexion things, so concealer and foundation, I think they do really inclusive shade ranges. They have some really good products in there, but there was just always something about it that I didn't love. Very often, again, with their descriptions, for instance, the entire Pretty Fresh range, they say it's hydrating, and then I put it on my dry skin, and I don't find it hydrating. It dries out my skin. So I don't know what's going on there, but that was definitely my issue with the primer. The Pretty Fresh primer that I tried, it just didn't work for that reason. The tinted moisturizer I had, I loved the product. I really, really enjoyed it. The Pretty Fresh tinted moisturizer. Excellent product. Really loved it. The foundation was too drying. But that tinted moisturizer, it turned. It like in the tube started to change color. And I was like, okay, that's weird. But I think it's then expired. But because I loved it so much, I repurchased it and then never touched it again. I never opened that product because I was afraid that if I were to open it, it would expire again really quickly because it got like yellow and green streaks in there. It was not a good look. I didn't feel safe using that anymore. And it wasn't that old. Like, I have foundation in my makeup collection that is far older than that, so maybe there just aren't a lot of preservatives in those products that Colourpop does. I don't know. And this is another thing that I have mentioned quite a lot with Colourpop and why I have decluttered so much over time is that they are very inconsistent with their quality. I feel they have major batch issues where some batches of products are lovely and great and just make you want to like buy everything, and then you get something else and that's like from a later batch, and then you go like, wait, what is this Colourpop? I thought you could do better. So I definitely feel they don't have a very consistent quality control, and I think that's actually one of the reasons, like, this is my theory. I'm not even sure if this is true, but in my brain, that's the reason why the brand still isn't sold in Europe, because they just cannot meet the European Union makeup consumer regulations that we have. The EU has some of the strictest rules in the world when it comes to manufacturing any consumer cosmetics. And I don't think that Colourpop would be able to meet those standards. They, of course, produce and manufacture everything in-house in their, that's why everything is made in the US. So that's really good, I think. But I feel that because they are just not willing to invest in like actual good quality, consistently good quality products, they just churn out the new. I would very much advise against getting things on a restock from Colourpop. I just have had not great experiences myself with Colourpop products that were restocked. And with their foundation, I feel that definitely that may have been why. Maybe the product just wasn't sealed well enough, and that's why my tinted moisture started to turn so quickly. And that's just a problem I've had with other Colourpop products in the past. Which, you know, especially if you're from the EU and you're used to getting really consistently good products, it can be a bit disappointed, especially because it's so expensive to buy sometimes. I get a lot of questions, especially from people in the Netherlands and the EU, how I get Colourpop. I buy it from the official Colourpop website. That's how I do it. I have a little system in place. I make sure my wish list exceeds free international shipping. So that's like over $60, I believe. I do try to stay under the whatever threshold is there that you have to pay extra VAT. Like I try to stay under that with my order, and then I wait for them to do like a sale, so there's 25% off, and then I still with the 25% off get free shipping. And then when I then get hit with my customs bill, I feel it sort of evens it out, and I pay about roughly what you would pay full price. And then I feel it can be worth it, but you definitely have to wait for sales and don't get too much in one go, because once you hit that 150, I think it's 150 euros, depends on your country, I believe. But once you hit that threshold, it gets even more expensive, and you actually have to pay for like an import fee on top of the regular customs fee you're already paying for. So that can make Colourpop a pretty expensive venture if you're not in the US. And I definitely think that that's one of the reasons why we are so skewed to falling in love with Colourpop products, because especially for a while, Colourpop had a chokehold on the online beauty community. But because so many of the online beauty creators that get to be the biggest tend to live in the US, it's a little easier for them to rave about this. And I definitely think for me, with some of the price points I have paid for some of their products, I have sometimes felt very disappointed with it. So that is a very subjective standpoint that I'm coming from, but that's just my experience from the brand. So many of my packages have arrived damaged, or damaged product inside, or just not well wrapped as well. So I just feel that Colourpop could do a lot better if they were to up the game a little bit, but then they probably would have to up their prices as well, and then they probably wouldn't be as popular anymore. So it's this catch-22 that I'm fully aware of. But yeah, they can do good products though. Before we get into a complete tangent here, they can do really, really good things. And the things I like the best are their eyeshadow palettes. So I have 3 of the palettes I love the best. They're Supershock eyeshadows. And this, the Pretty Fresh hyaluronic acid setting mist. This is what I use every single day. This is the only setting spray in my makeup collection. I only just started using this. This is my last bottle, and this is why I'm going to have to purchase from Colourpop by the end of the year, because a bottle of this, I think it lasts me about 6 to 9 months, one bottle of setting spray. So I'm going to buy like 4 of these, so I have a little bit I don't have to buy from them that quickly, or maybe 2 and like throw in some other things for the free shipping. But yeah, so if you have any Colourpop recommendations, then I would love to know, because I will have to place an order with Colourpop before the end of the year, because I will be nearly done with this by the end of the year, because I have already been using it for like a month or 2. So by December, I think it's going to be like one of my Black Friday purchases this year to order from Colourpop, because that's usually the best time. Takes a while though to get here, because it can take up to 6 weeks if you order through Black Friday sales, but I don't mind it. I mean, the Pretty Fresh is so good. I have dry skin. I've mentioned it several times already in this video. So me using any sort of setting spray usually makes my makeup look worse, because it sort of sucks it out, especially if it's a setting mist. So there's lots of different mists out there. Some of them are hydrating, but if it's just hydrating, it doesn't set your makeup. So I really struggled finding a good setting spray that I liked for my dry skin, that didn't make my makeup look dry and cakey, that kept it looking glowy and fresh, because that's the look I prefer, but that also gave my makeup a little bit more of wear time without it being like liquid, like hairspray, like the Urban Decay All Nighter. That's a good setting spray, don't get me wrong. The Urban Decay All Nighter makes your makeup last, but it sucks all the life out of my makeup for sure. I only tend to use it when I travel, or if I know that my makeup is gonna have to last all day. This one I feel is really good for the just everyday use. So this is the only setting spray I've ever fallen in love with. It's my 3rd bottle so far, 3rd or 4th, and I'm definitely gonna have to repurchase this. So that's one of the reasons why, if I think top 5 products from a brand, if it's something I've gone back to and repurchased time and time again, it gets to go into the top 5. Another product that I just have, I have backups of both of these colors, and I have so many other colors, but these are still my 2 favorites. And it's the Supershock eyeshadows in the little pots. If you're looking for one and done shadows, you'll see really soon. on the channel, I'm going to do a video about one and done shadows in August for sure. So these are my two favorites. We have Ritz with a little paw print, and then the one with no print left is So Quiche. So Quiche is my like deeper version. I tend to wear these together a lot. And as you can see, I'm about to hit pan on this one, I think, as well. Because this is like this really nice taupey brown with like a golden pink flash to it. It even has a hint of purple in some lighting. Really pretty on the lower lash line as a base under Ritz, or by itself if you just want a slightly smokier look. And Ritz is like a nude colored base, and then it has really nice like silver sparkly finish, and you can see how much of this I've used. That in the middle, that isn't eyeshadow, that's pan, and mine has gotten really crumbly as well because there's just so little product left. So I'm glad I have backups of both of these because these are my two favorites. I travel with them all the time. I have a trip coming up, and I'm definitely thinking of taking these with me yet again. And then the rest of the top 5 is made up of my 3 favorite Colourpop eyeshadow palettes. If you are familiar with my makeup collection, then you will know that my Colourpop palettes have been rearranged for the most part. A lot of my Colourpop 9 pans and 12 pans I have moved around because I didn't love the original color story. So these are all color stories that work, that I haven't felt the need to rearrange. Now, 2 of these I would like to rearrange, but I won't be able to because one of these palettes isn't magnetic. But the That's Taupe, I've never touched. I've never messed around with this. I've never felt the need to take these shades apart and put it together in a different way because this is good. I love this shade here. I love the 4 shimmers we get. This is deep enough to deepen it up. It's especially these 3 shades that I just feel are too similar that I don't love the most. But overall, I think that That's Taupe is still one of the best ones that Colourpop has ever come out with. It's such a good cooler tone, neutral palette. But if you want something that's a little bit more neutral and not as cool toned and not as deep, then maybe the Deja Brew could be good. I feel this is very similar to the That's Taupe. You don't need both. You really don't need both. But this one is the one that's not magnetic, because if this would be magnetic, I would probably take this and the That's Taupe and make a new 9 pan and put it in the That's Taupe palette, because I don't love this plastic packaging. But apparently these are glued in, so I can't take them out very easily. I could use my hair dryer, stick a pin in between the pan and like lift it out for sure, because that's what I've done with a lot of my eyeshadow. I especially like, again, the shimmers in here are really, really pretty. But I feel that the mattes we get in here are a little bit better. They're a little bit more neutral. They're not as like peachy toned, which is what I feel in the That's Taupe. There's still a hint of peach there. These are so, so pretty. It's such a good neutral palette. And I actually bought this because someone on TikTok was using it. And I was like, oh, but that looks pretty. And my favorite shade in this entire palette has to be this like deeper, like taupe sort of leaning shimmer in the bottom. So, so pretty. And then if you want something that has a bit more variety, then the Pretty Please is really pretty as well. I ended up buying this because you guys, my subscribers, were saying this was such a good palette for me, and you guys weren't wrong. This is now one of my favorite Colourpop palettes. This has essentially 3 things. It's got cooler tone mauve tones, it's got warmer rosy tones, and a full row of neutrals. This also has some of the Supershock formula in. I believe all 3 of these have the Supershock formula. You get 3 regular shimmers and then 3 of these like sequin shades. That's what they call them. They are mattes with sparkle in, which I just use as a matte because the sparkle is there to help blend the shadow. And then these deeper shades. So you can do a full row with the cool tones, a full look with the rosy tones, a full look with the neutrals. This kind of spells it out for you. Every row is a look. You can also mix and match if you want. So the Pretty Please, I'm very glad I followed you guys' recommendations because this is a really good one indeed. So that was my top 5, bottom 5 for everything Colourpop related. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video today. Thumbs it up if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more by me. I will be doing eyeshadow palette month starting in August. So very, very soon you can expect me to do daily videos. We'll have a giveaway and we're going to be chatting about eyeshadow and eyeshadow palettes every single day of the month. So I hope you're here for it, and then I hope to see you in my next one. Bye-bye!